Ooh, this is there we go. All right. We are live. Let me just tweet it out and then it'll be good. Dude, this game was so hard to watch.
I know.
This was
It's nasty. Just
really,
ugly.
it was so bad. Okay, I think we're good to go. Welcome back, everybody, to a somewhat depressing episode of The Sideline. My name's Rushioza,
My name's Asher Hire.
and we are about an hour removed from the Broncos losing in horrific fashion to the New York Jets. Not even horrific; it was just bad. The Broncos are just bad. That is the title of the stream. They're just not good. We'll try talking about some other things. We might get into the Packers, them being pretty bad. The Buccaneers lost in a shocker to the Panthers. Giants 6-1. We'll see which other games we can talk about, but we'll talk about the Broncos. I don't think a lot of people have many high expectations for this game because the Broncos were starting Brett Rippon and Russell Wilson was out injured. But even so, I was still disappointed. That's pretty tough.
Yeah. I was just disappointed in like the game plan. I mean, it just looked like the Russell Wilson kind of game plan, but it's Brett Rippon out there. I mean, he threw the ball 46 times and the Jets have 16 points. It's not like it's some shootout where you have to keep passing to keep up. It's like I don't know why we have more passing attempts than we do rushing attempts with this backup quarterback in. And it's not like, the rushing attack was terrible. And, I mean, the yards per carry for the team was 3.8. That takes into account Brett Rippon's 3 carries, but I don't know, man. It's just like, it's just so uninspiring to watch.
Yeah, like this was so boring. And like normally last few games when the Broncos have been close and it's been in the fourth quarter, like I'm nervous, my heart's beating, like I'm excited. I just didn't care. Like I truly did not care. I wasn't excited when they scored the touchdown. I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was half asleep. I mean, like, yeah, that last drive when it was, fourth down or whatever, and they could have tied it in the end zone. I wasn't nervous at all. Dude. I was like, bro, this is just like a joke to even watch right now. It's even if they do score a touchdown, like it's still just a joke.
Yeah, it's really, really bad. And I feel like a lot of people were blaming Russell Wilson for the offensive struggles. And I know Brett Rippon is not, he's not phenomenal. But the offense looked exactly the same. And I don't think that's a slight on Russell Wilson. I think that's Nathaniel Hackett and the game planning and Justin Outen and the play calling and the play schemes that they have. It's just not good, like at all. There's just nothing redeeming about what the offense has done through 7 games. This team should 100% be better than this. We already know that, but this team legitimately, I feel like a lot of people when they say, "Oh, this team they could be undefeated right now if things went correctly." This isn't even if things go correctly. This is if the team plays how it realistically should. They should be 7-0. Like every single game has been up there for the taking. Every single game has been right there, and they shoot themselves in the foot and handicap them. And it's not even like bad luck. It's just them playing so bad and the coaching staff handicapping the offense with the stupid play calling and dumb decisions on third down and bad personnel and it's just like it's worse than last year. I didn't think that would be possible considering how bad the offense was last season.
Yeah, 2-5 as a record. Pretty disgusting. I think the playoff hopes are have disappeared. If they haven't already before this game, but just same old. Defense looked good. Jets couldn't pass at all. Running defense was pretty bad. I mean, other than that Breece Hall long run, it wasn't terrible, but obviously they did plenty enough to win. Brandon McManus kind of hurts, 4 points left on the board there.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's kind of, I don't know. He's missing a lot of kicks.
Yeah. And it's anything past 50 yards, I'm not confident at all with him. And I know it was super windy, but like regardless, if it's past 50 yards, I have no faith that he's gonna make it.
I mean, he's got the leg. It's just like just off with the accuracy. And then, he's always mad about not having the chance to attempt like a 60-something yard field goal with Vic Fangio. And it's like, you've shown us time and time after again, you're gonna miss it anyways. So that was a rough kicking day, rough punting day. Like the Jets punter was just so much better than Corliss Waitman. That was pretty big.
Yeah, I don't know if it was. I know the wind definitely had an effect on the field goal.
Yeah,
the long one, but I don't know if it had any effect on the punts. But he just wasn't getting the right lift. It looks like how it was the first couple of weeks, where the ball is just not traveling. It's going out of bounds too fast. It's off the side of his foot or something. Like it's just not. Doesn't look. Nothing looked good today except the pass defense.
Yeah,
and even then, I don't know if that's because the defense was playing well or if it's just that the Jets' offense isn't that good. Like Zach Wilson didn't have many crazy. He escaped a lot of sacks.
Yeah.
And he kept a lot of plays alive, but he didn't complete any passes after those crazy plays. It was just so disappointing. It's just so disappointing. It's just ridiculous.
He had 3 completions that went 5+ yards in the air the entire game, and they won.
That's ridiculous. The Broncos defense, they've in 6 games, they've held the opposing team under 19 points. They've lost 4 of them. That's ridiculous.
They've only allowed 7 touchdowns on the year, and we're 7 games in. So yeah, like 1 touchdown per game, as you said, it makes no sense. Like looking at the defense's numbers and stuff, you're like, okay, like even with a bad offense, this team still should have a winning record. And like, it's just so annoying because when the offense is playing well, then something else happens and whatever. Like you fumble twice at the goal line. Like that's just Broncos stuff.
I still like that first game. If they're able to break through and get into the end zone a couple more times, I still think this whole season turns out differently. Like maybe the injuries and stuff still come, but the vision of the team, the perception of the team, the feeling inside the locker room has to feel different. Because that one win, it shows that there was some competence in the offense. Like there's tangible results that you can see.
Right.
Like even though the offense did play well, like it doesn't feel like it because they only scored 16 points.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing in the Raiders game. Like the offense played well in the Raiders game, but you lose. And it's because the offense fumbled away a touchdown that lost you all the momentum. And it's just so bad. Like I feel no hope for I don't like. It's like there's a 6:30 in the morning London game. Like I'm not gonna wake up to watch that.
Oh God, that's this week.
Yeah, like I don't want to wake up at 6:30 in the morning to see an offense that scores under 15 points a game.
Yeah,
like just fluster away an all-time great defensive performance through 7 games again against a team that you should handily beat. Like I don't want to watch that.
Yeah. I agree. I'm not waking up for that. It's just God, looking at their schedule. It's 16 points scored, 16 points scored, 11, 23. It's funny. The one where they score the most points, they lose. And then 9, and then 16, and then 9. It's like every game we're either scoring 9 points or 16 points. It's crazy. Like I've never seen this many 16 to 9 like games. Like
it's just ridiculous
in my life.
It's just ridiculous. Like I don't know what. Like I don't even know what to say anymore. But like in the last 3 weeks, we've just been like, man, this offense is rough. Like it doesn't look good. And then you're thinking the next week, okay, next week it'll come back. Like after the Colts game, I'm like, okay, they can't possibly play that bad.
Yeah.
And then they play that bad against the Chargers, and I'm like, okay, they can't be that bad again, and they do it again. And I don't want to. I'm not blaming Brett Rippon because he's the backup quarterback, and Wilson hasn't played that good anyway. But it's just like, man, like it just there were easy throws that were missed by Rippon today too. There were a couple touchdowns that were missed. Like there was just miscommunication, mistiming, which is fine. He's a backup. He doesn't have the chemistry yet. It's just like there was nothing went well. Like nothing went well. I think the one bright spot was that Jerry Jeudy had looked really good today.
Yeah.
He did have a drop, but like there was a pass that wasn't going anywhere regardless. But he had the big plays. They got him open in space. Brett Rippon was finding him in space. He looked good. Cortland Sutton's been invisible the last 3 games. Like he hasn't done anything. I know he had like this week. I'm pretty sure he was just being, he's being shadowed by Sauce Gardner, who is very, very good. Him and Pat Surtain are they're incredible for them to be as good as they are in their rookie year and their second year. That you don't see that. But he was really he just hasn't, like, the first few games he was elite. Like he was looking like he was a top 10 receiver again, and he just hasn't done anything over the past few games. Melvin Gordon talked all of the stuff about not getting in and not doing this, and he comes in and averages 3 yards a carry. You can't do that, and him and Hackett have a disconnect, and there's no trust in the locker room anymore. It's just everything that could have gone wrong in terms of chemistry and trust has gone wrong. And I don't know how that's fixable.
I literally I don't know how you move on. Like if you're George Payton, like I actually don't know. I mean, I would just say, I guess, like literally just run the team back. I mean, it like, unless you're wanting a change at head coach, I would say the roster, maybe you can just run back. I don't want to like trade Chubb and Judy right now because the team is talented, like still is, and maybe next year they can figure it out. But it's looking really bad right now, especially with those lack of picks. It's like these losses are completely useless.
The lack of picks makes this season just like a complete waste. Like there's no point. And I'm surprised that the defense is still trying, because at this point I'm like, dude, we suck. The offense isn't going to do anything anyway. We don't have any picks, so even if there's no incentive for us to be bad, like honestly, what's the point of us being here? Like I'm shocked that they are still doing this, and especially for the guys who have been there for a while, like Justin Simmons, Bradley Chubb, Kareem Jackson, like Josie Jewell as well. Like they've been here for 3-4 years now. And it's the exact same thing. It's an incredibly talented defense that plays well every single week. And then the offense just comes in and lets them down completely. Just completely lets them down. Like I'm surprised either of them haven't forced a trade at this point. Because I would have just been sick of it.
Yeah, no, I feel so bad for them. Like Justin Simmons, it's been like 5-6 years. Kareem Jackson, kind of same thing. Like I don't know how they find the motivation to just keep going out there, because when you do get a stop, like the offense doesn't do anything with it. So I don't that stop wouldn't feel rewarding at all to me. I don't know. So that's like, the pride on the defensive side is crazy. That's what I've noticed, with the past few years with kind of the main guys on defense. It's like, Draymond, Chubb, Simmons, Surtain, Jackson, like they really do all care. Like, and they try their hardest each time. And so that's like, I think that's a really good group of guys and leaders leading the defense the past few years. But man, it's just like,
it's just really
disappointing how they do it.
It just sucks. I'm just like thinking about Hackett, and I'm like, I don't know how you can say that he's going to get another year out. Like I don't know how you can look at what the product that's been on the field and say that, okay, we'll give you another chance. Like I legitimately think that if you do not win in London, if Russell Wilson plays, if you don't win in London, I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone, which would be crazy because it's the first year. But he's looked that bad, and he has looked so completely overwhelmed, which really sucks because I want him. I want to like him. He's a nice guy and he's a very easy guy to root for, but he doesn't look like he knows what he's doing, which is it's so sad.
Yeah, it's crazy because I was so excited for him, and it's
Yeah.
like, the thought of him being fired didn't even cross my mind like in the first year,
Hmm.
but it genuinely has been like that bad. I mean, that bad to have these discussion points. Like, God, it's pretty tough. But yeah, really, I mean, I guess nothing much else to say about that game. It just kind of went by and
Yeah.
nothing really happened, and then the Jets just won 16-9.
Yeah. Like it literally, I was just like watching and I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah,
Oh, first sound, cool. All right.
yeah.
All right. And that was it. And it ended.
Yeah, I mean, it's just both sides was just like 3-and-out each time. If it's not a 3-and-out, maybe they get one first down. They're like, okay, that was an okay drive, and then you punt in 3-and-out on the other side. Yeah.
This is so bad.
Mhm.
Greg Dulcich, 2 weeks in a row look good.
Yeah.
I'll say that he does look like a legit guy to be a tight end. Um, George Payton's been nailing it with the draft picks, but you know, there's always one thing. There's always one thing that just goes
Mhm.
horrifically wrong. Like even if you have a good coach, the quarterback sucks, and once you got a good quarterback, the coach sucks, and the
Yeah.
defense is still really. It's just, oh my god, just really bad, really, really, really bad.
Well, the Packers, at least I guess we're not fans of them right now either. Um, they're looking really rough
Yeah,
offensively. Rodgers, man, like, oh God, this offense is just nasty. Like, I don't understand their goal like whatsoever on the offensive side of the ball. It like if it's not a little top of the screen, like out to Alan Lazard, and they have the other wide receiver blocking a corner. Like, I don't know what the play is going to be because, dude, they run that play so many times, like on first downs, on third downs, on fourth downs. It's so predictable. Rogers only averaging 5 yards per completion. Um, just no intermediate or deep threats at all,
yeah,
and no aggressiveness from Rodgers even when they do get somewhat open. And then they also don't run the ball. Like 12 carries between AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones combined. Like I don't know what they're doing with that either.
you have to run the ball more than 12 times, and I don't.
Mhm.
It wasn't even like they weren't down by it. Like 14-10 is the most that they were up 14-10. I'm like the
They're
most they
up
were down
they're
by
up
was
14-3.
6. Or they were down by 9. That's still like you have to run the ball. Like you can't 12 carries for two guys who are good too. It's not like where
Yeah.
Denver is in a situation where it's like, okay, like neither running back is doing well over the past few games. Like let's just throw it a bunch. No, like
Mhm.
Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon have been good this season. I like I, and especially with the fact that you don't have any weapons, like they have to trade for somebody. Like they have to trade for somebody. There's no way you can go another year with zero depth at wide receiver. Not
Yeah.
even depth. You don't even have any good players outside of Lazard at wide receiver right now. Like you have
Yeah.
potential with Romeo Dobbs, but your second round pick with Christian Watson, right? He's not even playing. Like what is I just don't. You have to trade for somebody. You have to trade for somebody. I don't know who it is, or you sign Odell Beckham. You do whatever it takes to
Yeah.
get somebody for Aaron Rodgers to throw to. But Aaron Rodgers doesn't even look good either. Like that's the other thing. Like he's missing throws. He's not throwing down the field at all.
Yeah. It's just little like 5-yard flicks. And then
Yeah,
he had that really nice throw to Aaron Jones for the
yeah,
touchdown. So I mean he can still show that, but I haven't like seen him just drive a ball like down the field um in like forever. It feels like, and that definitely didn't happen in this game, I don't think. But
yeah.
um Yeah,
Their
and like
longest passing play was 28 yards to
yeah,
Sammy Watkins. But I don't know if that was yak or I didn't see the
yeah, I don't
plays.
know
I
how
don't know
that
if it
happened.
was like an actual drive.
Hmm. I mean, Alan Lazard really isn't even like that good either. Like to have him be your number one receiver is insane. And they missed out on Robbie Anderson. They missed out on everyone. Chase Claypool, I guess, could be available. Well, and they missed out on him in the draft. Maybe they can trade for him.
Yeah.
Um, there's DJ Moore, I guess. There are options that you can find, but I don't know what the deal is with Gutekunst and just not trying to find any receivers. Like everyone has been banging this drum about how the Packers need to get receivers for the past like 5 years, man, and they just don't. It's so weird to me.
Yeah. It's just so like the only first round pick that Aaron Rodgers has thrown a touchdown to is Mercedes Lewis. They didn't even draft him. Like,
Yeah.
are you serious?
Mm,
Like, really? That's so bad. You have a guy who's might be the most talented quarterback to ever play, and you don't surround him with any talent. After Jordan Nelson left, they haven't done anything to surround him with talent. They said, "Oh, Devontae Adams is good. All right, what's this?
yeah.
That's it. Like that's it." No, like you can't do that. And then you sour the relationship enough with Adams that he leaves, and you don't get enough back for him. You got
Yeah.
picks, sure, but if you don't use those picks to actually select weapons to help Aaron Rodgers, they're useless.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just ridiculous. The Packers that's just a weird situation now too, because if Aaron Rodgers is starting to decline, you just gave him $50 million a year, like
Yeah.
that's also a really, really bad contract and really bad situation for them because they can't even pay people to come there unless they're just
Yeah.
so far into the tax.
Their defense looked good in the first half. They had that big muff fumble too.
Mm-hmm.
But the defense was good up until Heineke started going off in the second half. He had that
Yeah.
long one to McLaurin, but he looked so bad in the first half. Um, yeah, I mean the Packers, I don't know what to say. Like their defense is good, but it should be better than
Yeah.
what it is. And then their offense obviously just a complete mess. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
there's just nothing to be scared about on the
No.
offensive side of the ball, except for like Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, and they don't give him the ball.
Yeah. You throw to Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones had 9 receptions, so I guess
Yeah.
like they did give him, but like he's a running back. Give him the
Mm-hmm.
ball. Let him run. Ah, just dumb. Just dumb. I think Taylor Heineke keeps proving our hypothesis right that he's the football equivalent of a hooper. Like
Yeah.
everything analytically points to him just not being a good quarterback. But then every once in a while, you're just like, oh my God, what the heck? What was that? He'll escape a
Yeah,
sack
that'd
and
be
like
nice.
hurdle a person and throw a 40-yard bomb. Like,
Yeah.
what in the world? Just out of
Exactly.
nowhere.
I don't
He's
know.
talented. It's just like, it's just
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah. That throw to McLaurin was insane. Yeah, I can't figure out if he's talented, like, or if those are just like such random lucky plays. I don't know. Because I don't know what his arm strength is like or what his accuracy
Yeah.
generally is like. It just kind of every play just kind of like happens, and sometimes they're just an insane play. Other times he's just like a back like Brett Rippin out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Very weird. Very, very
Right.
weird. Another
Um,
offense that's really, really struggling. Oh, Raheem Mostert scored. Nice.
hey,
I needed that really bad. Dude,
it
I
was bad
scored in one of
time.
my leagues, I scored 160 points and I lost by 40.
What? How?
The guy scored because he had Eckler with 36, Jacobs 36, and he had the Cowboys
Mhm.
defense who had 32. I just got screwed. I got so
Yeah.
screwed.
What? How many? So he had 200 points, bro. What? Dude,
Ridiculous.
one of my leagues, I was projected for like 140, like during the 11 a.m. games, I was projected to score 140 points because Jamar Chase got 33. and then I have Kyle Pitts, Cortland Sutton, um, in that late window, Geno Smith, and all of them are just so bad, dude. And then the Jacksonville defense got me -2 points somehow.
Oh my god.
But yeah,
Fantasy.
what game were you trying to talk about?
Buccaneers Panthers. I was gonna say another offense that's really, really struggling is the Bucks. They've been bad all year. Like their offense hasn't been good the entire season. And I think it's officially time to be worried about it. We've mentioned it before, but against a defense like Carolina, which is not good, you score 3 points after they just traded away their best player.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really? That's awful. That's ridiculous. That's inexcusable. Like, that's inexcusable to be that bad against Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if it's on the road. Like, you cannot allow that. There's no way.
Yeah, I don't know how it like happened really, because Red Zone wasn't showing this game because there wasn't much to show.
Yeah.
But like offensively for the Bucks, yeah, I don't know if it's like a Brady issue. I don't think it is. Like his arm still looks good and he makes accurate throws. I don't know what it is. They can't really run the ball too well.
No. Fournette was awful today.
Yeah. I don't know. And then their defense, wasn't that good either. Like PJ Walker, 16 for 22, 2 touchdowns. He had a really nice couple throws really to DJ Moore. And then one to Tommy Tremble for that touchdown. But but them running the football was really good too with Chuba and Foreman. So yeah, I don't know what the Bucks kind of offensive issue is.
Yeah, the Panthers ran for 6.4 yards a carry on 27 carries as a team, and that's counting DJ Moore having 1 for negative yards and Raheem Blackshear having 2 carries for a total of -5 yards. So like Donta Foreman, 15 carries on an 8-yard average. Chuba Hubbard, 9 carries, 7-yard average. That's horrible. That's ridiculous. If it was Christian McCaffrey doing that, you're like, oh yeah, it's Christian McCaffrey. It's Chuba Hubbard and Donta Foreman. Like those guys aren't. They're okay, but I mean, this is a defense that the last 2 seasons has been. I mean, they won the Super Bowl for the Chiefs or for the Buccaneers in 2020. Like they were the reason they won that Super Bowl. And then last year they were great as well.
Yeah.
And this season, through 6 games, at least until today, they were all right.
Yeah.
Like only allowing 20 points to the Steelers, even though they lost, 15 to the Falcons in a win, 14 to the Packers in a loss once again, 10 to the Saints, 3 to the Cowboys. Like those are good numbers. The only game where they really got hit hard was the Chiefs, and when they scored 41. But like that's the Chiefs, it's Patrick Mahomes. You expect that. You don't expect to get shredded by PJ Walker and Chuba Hubbard. Like, just weird. The Buccaneers are a weird team. The NFC is a weird place right now.
The whole NFL is just weird right now.
Like you have your good. You have Kansas City at 5-2. Yeah, it makes sense. Buffalo's 5-1. Makes sense. Baltimore is leading that division. Them and Cincy are at the top of that division, which makes sense. But like the Jets are 5-2, huh? Like what?
Yeah.
Like the Colts are 3-1. Odd record. Denver's 2-5. That doesn't make any sense. And the NFC's even weird. Like New York, 6-1, huh?
With the Buccaneers and Packers being 3-4.
Minnesota's 5-1. Like Atlanta's 3-4. It tied for the division.
Yeah. Seattle is winning that division.
Seattle's winning the NFC West. Like what? Like the 2 seed in the NFC is completely up for grabs. Like I have no clue who's gonna get that, and even the 1 seed, because if Philly loses 1 game, like New York is right there, out of nowhere. It's just been, oh my goodness, it's just been so weird.
Yeah, it's weird because there's like no really good teams, no bad teams. Like maybe the Bills go 13-4, but really those are like the Bills is the only team I can see like having like a season like that where it's like 14-3, 13-4. Like Chiefs are already at 2 losses. 5-2 is a good record, but it's nothing like special. Like
No,
it'll look
they haven't
special.
looked great in all the
Yeah,
games. Like
yeah.
in
And
their two
5-2
losses, they
looks
have
like a good
definitely had a
record
lot
this.
of flaws.
Mm-hmm. And then yeah, I mean the Niners have obviously have flaws too. Uh
Mhm.
44 points they just allowed to the Chiefs. Yeah, it like that Giants Jags game 1 inch away. Like this is just
Yeah,
how the Giants are winning games. Like, man, it's so weird how like it's like up to luck now. It's like the Giants are just lucky with that.
yeah. Like they've just like I think it's the opposite of the Broncos, where it's like
Yeah.
because they've gotten things going in their way in the fourth quarter and luck going in their way in the fourth quarter. Like it just keeps going that way. But
Mhm.
for Denver, like nothing has gone their way and it
Yeah.
just keeps going down.
But
Yeah.
they do. I mean, like it can't be all luck. Like Brian
No, they're
Dable
like
probably, you
they're
know, if Brian Dable's the Broncos head coach, maybe that happens to us too.
yeah,
Um,
they've looked good. Like in their
yeah,
wins, like they do look like a good team. Like it's not where it's like they're just playing bad teams and getting away with
mm,
also playing bad. Like they're not as
mhm,
bad. Like Jacksonville's been good. Like they've also been competitive in games. They beat the Ravens, who are a good team leading a division. They beat the Packers, who should be a good team, and they beat them in Lambeau as well.
yeah,
You know, you beat the Titans, who are 4-2 at the top of a division right now. Like these aren't bad teams that they're winning, they're going against. Oh, they're well coached. I can't believe that the Broncos didn't even give Dable an interview.
I know.
Like he probably would like I'm sure New York still would have offered him the position, and he might have still chose New York to go to. But the fact that you don't offer probably the best offensive mind out there after wanting an offensive minded coach and like interviewing the offensive minded coaches, that was shocking. And
Yeah,
it definitely looks to be a really, really bad decision
yeah,
through 7 games, looking at how New York is and how Denver is.
yeah. Um, Want to move on to like NBA stuff now?
Yeah, we can. So Denver Broncos are bad as the first part of this stream. The Denver Nuggets are
Yeah,
good is the second part of
yeah,
this stream. Uh Nuggets didn't it didn't look good in the first game against Utah. That was very predictable Nuggets loss.
yeah.
But their last 2 games have looked much more like the Nuggets because obviously after getting blown out by Utah, you go into Golden State and win because of course you do, and you look incredible doing it. And
Mhm.
then you were in a dogfight with the Thunder in the home opener because of course
Because of course you are.
you
Yeah.
but
Um,
man, I'm happy with how they've played. I think that this has been a good first 3 games. You're seeing what you want to see. Jamal Murray, I thought he looked good in game 1. There's obviously a lot of rust that he has to knock off still. But I thought he looked very comfortable in yesterday's game. The rust I don't think is with him and his scoring ability. It's just timing with other people and passes because he's missed a few passes
yeah,
where it's just it's just timing and knowing where people are and just getting back into the rhythm of things. But he's
sure.
looked good. MPJ's looked incredible. It looks like he has not. There's no rust at all. He's jacking up threes with
Yeah.
incredible volume and efficiency. Exactly what you want to see out of him. His defense has looked good through 3 games, which is another thing. He's been in foul trouble, but I'd rather him be in foul trouble than just like not trying at all.
Hmm.
Uh, and he hasn't been a liability. He's been on the floor in closing lineups. Um, yeah, I'm excited. I've been encouraged through 3 games, and I'm seeing the things
Yeah.
that I want to.
Yeah, me too. And that Porter defense against Curry just like kind
Mm,
of embodies how hopefully he's trying to play this season because I know he's motivated. And yeah, I mean just the starting lineup especially has been pretty good. All around scoring effort the past couple games. Really all 3 games is just like all around. I think has all 3 games have all starters gotten into double digits. I don't know.
I don't think the first game because KCP didn't do much the
Oh
first game.
yeah, yeah. You're right. But yeah, I mean KCP's been playing great,
Yeah,
just a low usage shooter, but he's making all those shots, like 6 for 10 from 3 against the Thunder. I think he's shooting about 54% from 3. so far this year. So I mean, it's just so nice having him be a reliable knockdown shooter when Jokic whips those passes over into
Mhm.
the corner and he's there. He's been good coming off of dribble handoffs too and screens, pulling up for mid ranges, and his defense has been good. And then Bruce Brown has been amazing
Oof.
too, especially in that Warriors game.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
eight
He
for
was
10.
perfect signing.
Yeah.
He's been him and KCP have been everything that you could have hoped for
Mm-hmm.
through 3 games. They've been good defensively. They've been hounding. They've been doing what you want on that end, and they're making their open shots. They're doing what you want offensively. KCP, there are some possessions where like, what in the heck? Why are you doing that? Where it's like he'll catch it or he'll like do like a weird step back or he'll catch it and it's clearly
Yeah.
a contested shot. He's like, oh, I'm shooting it anyway.
Yeah.
But when he's on the floor with Jokic and he's coming off of a dribble handoff and he's like one dribble pull up in a mid range, those
Mm-hmm.
are money. He's been doing that even in preseason. He was hitting those.
Yeah.
Catch and shoot from the corner. He's been money. Like it looked so smooth. The offense looks so smooth, even with like the little hiccups with Murray and the timing. Like
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't look like KCP has uh any issues with being where he needs to be after a few games. Like there were in the preseason, you could tell there were a couple like he didn't finish a cut. Like he didn't think he'd be open, but because it's Jokic, he'll see him open and he just like didn't finish a cut and there would be a turnover. But
Yeah.
he looks really, really good. Aaron Gordon, the Golden State game was rough. The Golden State game was really rough for Aaron Gordon.
Mhm.
I think whenever he goes against Draymond, like Draymond just gets in his head
Yeah.
really, really bad. But I thought he played like he was only 3 for 9 yesterday, but he was in the paint the entire time. Like he wasn't taking stupid
Mhm.
threes. He was in the paint. He was going up strong. He was where he needed to be. I thought he played a good game.
Yeah, 10 rebounds.
Mhm.
Um, Bones struggled,
Yeah,
for sure. Bones has struggled in 2 out of the 3 games. That Warriors game, he looked really good. And that's what, like, looking at the Warriors game, I think that's where Bones kind of separates himself from other guys that are like him that are just like quick kind of scores. Emmanuel quickly comes to mind or whatever, just volume scores that can make threes and drive by you and stuff, and they're quick. But Bones, like his passing, like he has the potential to be a serious like offensive engine, I think. Especially for a bench unit.
yeah,
And I don't know if he could have starter potential too, but some of those passes that he was making, like to Jeff Green in the corner at the end of the first half of that Warriors game, that was an insane pass. Uh, yeah, so his playmaking's been phenomenal. Only played 14 minutes because he struggled, but yeah, I just thought he looked really good in that Golden State game.
yeah. He did. I mean, he looked like in the Golden State game in the preseason, he looked really good, and then like, obviously in this one, he looked good. When he's getting downhill,
Mm-hmm.
that's when he's at his best. And I thought he was like his style of play is that he wants to push. He wants to keep pushing and keep pushing. And that I think that's the next step for him is learning when to just kind of calm things down and be a normal point guard and run a set and like run off ball and get the ball back in a pick and roll situation instead of just only doing like a high pick and roll, getting into the mid
Yeah.
range and shooting a jumper or getting in the mid range and throwing up something. Hope you get fouled at the rim, something like because that's what he had been. That's what he was doing yesterday. That's what he was doing in Utah. Um, but I like he the games again like that he plays like he did against Golden State. You can see the potential. It's just
Yeah.
so high,
Mm-hmm.
so high. I'm really excited to see him because he's gonna have some growing pains. Like he is only in his second year. I'm not expecting him to be elite immediately, but really excited to see that. Christian Brown as well.
Yeah.
He is really like I thought that out of him and Watson, he would be the guy to play who had the better chance of playing immediately because of his defense and because like he is a more polished defender. I didn't think he looked as good though. He looks incredible. Like defensively against Jordan Poole, he looked really good. He looked good
Yeah.
against Klay Thompson, looked good against Steph Curry. Yesterday he was guarding Trey Mann when Trey Mann was having a good game and he shut him off a couple of times. He guarded Shea Gilgeous-Alexander a couple times and looked good.
Mhm.
Like he just looks so comfortable and he finally started to hit his threes, which If he's
Yeah.
hitting his threes, like you have to
Yeah.
have him in a rotation. There's no
Yeah.
way you can keep him out if he's playing like that.
Yeah, I agree. And I guess take out Davon Reed. Davon Reed's been struggling a little bit to start the season, and he didn't play against the Thunder. So I wonder if that's kind of a sign that Brown is close to really, emerging as that backup, you know, two guard or whatever instead of Davon Reed. And then also Zeke Naji played ahead of DeAndre Jordan for this game. I mean, it's probably because it's a back-to-back, you want to try some different bench rotations and keep people fresh. But that was kind of a move that fans were expecting to eventually happen, and it did happen last night. But Zeke Naji was terrible.
Yeah.
As that backup five, 4 fouls in 9 minutes, -10.
0 rebounds is the stat that I'm looking at. Like as a center, I don't think he's a center. I think he's a power forward. But if you are going to play center, your job has to be rolling to the rim and getting rebounds. Yeah. And if you're not going to get rebounds, then you can't be on the floor, because this is an undersized lineup regardless, even if DeAndre Jordan's in there or not.
No, that's the concern. I think, off the bench is that rebounding, because if Jeff Green is playing center, Jeff Green doesn't get rebounds, and Zeke Naji doesn't get rebounds, and DeAndre Jordan, can be unplayable at times, even though he can get rebounds, just unplayable. Like a total of 4 rebounds for the bench unit last night. Actually 5, 2 for Bruce Brown, 1 for Jeff Green, 0 for Najee, 1 for Brown, 1 for Highland. That I think is a concern, because it popped up in the Jazz game a lot when Jeff Green was playing center. That I think that could be a consistent issue this year.
Yeah, that's definitely the biggest issue that I'm seeing, is that, like, I think defensively the starting lineup has been good. Like, they obviously have their lapses, and because Murray's coming back from injury, he's easily attacked. Porter's still not perfect on that end, and we obviously know about Jokic's limitations. So that starting line, they have their flaws, but I think they've looked good, and especially in clutch situations, they've been good. But the bench, like, their biggest issue is that they give up so many second chances, and that, like, and they just don't score points. Like, the bench for OKC, they completely dominated. Mike Muscala with 18, Trey Mann with 13. That already, like, Mike Muscala by himself outscored the entire Nuggets bench. No, he didn't. Sorry. Both of those guys combined outscored the entire Nuggets bench. And it was the same thing in the Utah game. Like, I'm pretty sure it was like 35-9 bench points in the first half. Like, you cannot allow that. They just they give up too much in terms of second chances, and they just can't they can't seem to find a way to shut off the bleeding when it happens.
Yeah.
They don't know how to do it. And I think some of it's experience, but a lot of it's just bad. They're just playing bad. I will say I want to give props to Malone, though, because he's not taking as long to adjust this year as he did before.
Right.
Last year, we could see immediately Campazzo wasn't playing as well as he was the year before. We could tell that he shouldn't have been part of the rotation, and it took him like a good 2 months to insert Bones Highland, and Denver lost some games because of that. But in the Utah game, you could see that DeAndre Jordan was not playing well in the first half. He stopped it immediately and went to a different lineup and started staggering with Jeff Green and Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray and trying to figure something out without DeAndre Jordan. And now he's seeing that Davon Reed isn't playing too. I don't even think he's been bad. He's just been like okay. But Christian Brown has been really, really good in his limited minutes, and immediately puts him into a rotation, just knowing what he can do and knowing the adjustment to be made. So I want to give props to that. I think he's coached 3 games that have been really good. But the rebounding from the bench is just not good, even with Jordan in there.
Yeah. That I feel like too many open looks too. The 3 teams have shot the lights out against us. I think Utah was over 50% from 3. Golden State was around 40, and then OKC just shot 15 for 38. So that, it's 3 games in, but that's a concern, I guess. 3-point defending, and then free throws were abysmal last night too. like that could be tough. Jokic has been just so spotty at the free throw line since last year. Yeah, I don't know about 2 years ago, but last year he was kind of spotty, and then in the Eurobasket he was missing a ton of free
Yeah,
throws.
you're about to miss a lot.
And then he missed 3 free throws last night. I've noticed like it's a different kind of stance. Like his feet are a little further apart. I feel like he's trying to figure something out because his free throws are kind of an issue at times. And usually like it happens towards the end of games too, which is
Yeah.
he does miss a lot of clutch free throws. But yeah, Aaron Gordon not reliable at the free throw line. Bruce Brown not reliable. Jeff Green not reliable. Yeah,
Even Bones, like Bones should be the reliable guy, but he was
Yeah.
missing free throws.
yeah,
That has to be. They go 18 for 31 in a game you win by what, like 4?
exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
no, you can't, that can't happen.
Mhm.
And then I'm looking at the shooting numbers. The Jazz shot 50% from the field, 42% from 3, and then the Warriors shot. Let me see. The Warriors shot 47% from the field and 34% from 3. But the Warriors still made 15 threes in that
Mhm.
game. They got to the line 27 times. Like it's just it's not good. Like it's not good. That definitely has been the issue. And it's been like the corner 3, which is they're lighting up a lot, which normally Denver historically under Malone has been that they've been a good 3-point defense.
Yeah.
But this year it's really has not been good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think there's promise though, because this team should be defending better on the perimeter.
some of
But
it's luck though. Like I thought against Utah, like
oh my God, I know. Markkanen was banging some like crazy threes. I'm
yeah, like Markkanen and Sexton were all they were hitting whatever was in front, like regardless of the defense. Like sometimes it's just luck, but like the I think they'll be fine.
Yeah. The Jazz they could go 3-0 right now. They're beating the Pelicans by 7 at the end of the third.
They are, and Brandon Ingram's probably not going to return. And I was
really?
watching that. Yeah, with Brandon Ingram's not in. He's only played
11 minutes.
11 minutes. Yeah, I think he got hit in the nose. So I think he had like the thing in his nose to stop it from bleeding, but they took him back out.
Oh, okay.
So that's why. Well, I think that's why Najee Marshall played a lot.
Yeah.
Zion looks good. He looks great. It
Yeah.
was fun. The Jazz. I had this thought about them, because everyone is thinking, oh, they're gonna be really bad. They traded away their best players. They're gonna be really bad. But you look at the roster and they don't have bad players. Like they're not untalented, because like Kelly Olynyk is a good player. Larry Markkanen's a good player. Jared Vanderbilt's a great glue guy. Mike Conley's still good. Clarkson's good. Rudy Gay is good. Sexton's good. Beasley's good. Like they have good players. They just don't have a number one. And they should probably be tanking because of Victor Wembanyama and Scoot Henderson. But like I look at them and I'm like, if they can still shoot the 3 good, like why I feel like they have a chance at being like the 1920 Thunder, where they were like, everyone thought they were going to be bad because they traded their best players and then they ended up making the playoffs anyway. But they don't have like a Chris Paul steadying type of guy. They just have a lot of talent.
I mean, Lauri, like it's very possible that Lauri Markkanen can just break out this year.
They're 29-9 right now.
Yeah, I mean, and he played well last year, and now I get like he really is maybe the number 1 scoring option now for them. So maybe he could break out. Had 17 against the Nuggets, 24 against the Timberwolves. Damn, he really only had 17 against the Nuggets. It felt like a lot more. I know. Yeah. As you said, I mean, Utah just doesn't have bad players, and they've been around too. They're all pretty, veteran players, so they could just be an annoying team to beat, especially at Utah too. It's always a tough place to play.
Yeah.
Lakers lose again. Nice. I like that. We do like seeing that.
Did you see the Westbrook jumper?
Yeah.
Oh my
I was
god.
watching it live. I'm like, this guy's just not even like a real and like it's so obvious that why is he playing? Like, why is he playing? He's such a detriment and a negative to that team. He does nothing. Like, I don't care that people are saying, "Oh my God, he had good defensive effort against the Sacramento Kings, even though he shot 0 for 11. He had good defensive effort in that game." It's like just the sheer fact of him being on the court is detrimental because it plugs up everything, like in
Yeah.
the starting lineup. Like even if he doesn't touch the ball, he's still a liability because it's the Ben Simmons treatment, except this guy's not 6'10 and probably can't really pass like Ben Simmons either. He doesn't, he gets the assist numbers up, but Ben Simmons is more creative with his playmaking. Um, so like there's just no point. And plus, obviously, he doesn't give you Ben Simmons defense.
Yeah.
Um,
It,
so
it,
yeah, he's the only negative in the starting lineup today against the Blazers. I I just think he needs to be benched. Like
yeah.
Austin Reeves, is better than he is right now. So
Yeah. I think that like they said they weren't gonna make any like rash decisions with trades and stuff. I think they should have traded Westbrook
yeah,
and their two firsts for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. I think they should have done that very easily. I think it's a tough trade to make because you're giving up two picks when you're probably going to be bad, but you got to maximize the time you have around LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook's he's just dragging the team down at this point,
mhm,
especially if you insist on starting him. But if you are gonna, I think like bringing him off the bench is the best situation for him if he's gonna stay on the team because it allows him to just take over and be what makes Russell Westbrook good, which is being the main ball handler, going downhill, attacking, taking the most shots. Like if he was on Charlotte, I'm thinking Charlotte's a playoff team because he's just handling the ball and he's just doing good. But like you can't do that if you have LeBron James and like you
yeah,
don't want him having the ball over those guys anyway.
yeah. I don't know though. I mean, like even with that though, I just think he just misses so many shots. Like
That is true.
that the mid-range shot that he was good at in OKC,
Mm.
that's like him shooting like a three, back then when he shot like 34% from three. It's like everything has like just moved out. The 3-point line feels like the half court line for him, and then the mid-range feels like it's a 3-pointer. And then even the layups, he's missing layups. The layups
Yeah.
are like mid-ranges for him. And then the free throw line is a disaster as well. So like I think he's just lost his touch. He's lost his shooting touch and his confidence, I think, is probably what made it go down. So yeah, maybe, him being this bad did stem from the Lakers, but I don't think if you put Russell Westbrook right now in his current state on the Hornets, I can't say that they would be
It
any
is
better.
tough
I don't.
because his jump shooting is just so bad.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
like when he was with Washington. Like I'm trying to compare like a Washington situation. I
Right.
mean that
Yeah.
was only 2 years ago, and
Yeah.
he's not like his athleticism is still there. Like we've seen it many times, but he just can't shoot at all.
Mhm.
It's so odd. It just completely went away, and I think at this point it's just mental because like he's not he's shooting like 8% from three this season. He's not an 8% shooter. Nobody in the NBA is truly an 8% from three shooter. Like it's just all mental at this
Yeah.
point. And I feel you have to help him get into a rhythm, which has to be off the bench. It just has to be off the bench.
Mhm.
If you're gonna insist on playing him and keeping him, and letting him figure something out.
Yeah.
He just has to be off the bench. Your preseason MVP pick, Mr. Jason Tatum, is probably
Yes,
the
sir.
leader
Yes,
right
sir.
now through three
Yeah.
games.
Did
He's been
he?
very good. Celtics have been very good. They're 3-0.
Yeah. Um, is he playing today? Are they? Nah.
They are not. They played yesterday
Who
at
they play?
Orlando. He had
Oh yeah.
40 points, eight
Oh wow.
rebounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Terrence Ross still plays. Um. Yeah. Tatum looks amazing. That's my guy, I guess, for this year. I don't know. I don't have any. It's not that I like just really love Jason Tatum. But maybe I have to because he is the pick. Yeah, the Celtics, they look good even without Ime Udoka. And It's interesting. Brogdon coming off the bench for them in that Orlando game. I don't know if he's been doing that the entire season.
Yeah. He's been their
Okay.
sixth man. They've
Okay.
been wanting. They've been very insistent on keeping Smart in the starting lineup.
And clearly, I see Noah Vonleh. They're insistent on him starting to. This is so wild. Grant Williams, I think his true shooting percentage this year is like 111%.
Oh my god.
Because I mean, look, his recent games, he had
That
he was 5 for 5 against Philly, 3 for 3 from three, 4 for 6 against Miami, 2 for 4 from three, and then 3 for 3 against Orlando, and all of those were threes.
he's
And
shooting 80% from three on the season.
yeah. 85% from the field, 85% from the free throw line.
Let me try.
I guess he's
They have
good
true
now.
shooting. Oh man, ESPN doesn't have true shooting percentage.
Yeah, I know.
Why? That's dumb. Wait, oh no, advanced stats. There it is.
Oh,
Yeah, it's 111%.
yeah.
That's
It's
crazy.
crazy.
111%. I remember Fred Van Vliet a couple years ago had a 50-point game where his true shooting percentage was like 102 because he had 11 threes. Like,
Yeah, I think didn't Kyrie have that against Orlando last year or 2 years
I
ago?
think so because he had
Yeah.
60 in
Yeah.
one of those games. Yeah, let me see what MPJ's true shooting percentage is because he's only been shooting threes too. He's at 69% true shooting, which is that's a career high for him. But it's crazy because you look at his rookie season, he was at 62.
Mm-hmm.
It's just incredibly efficient for a jump shooter. And then the next season is 66 at 19 points a game.
Yeah. No,
His
that's
usage percentage has stayed the same, which is it's so crazy.
What's his how many points is he averaging?
He's at 18.
Okay.
He had 15 against Utah, then he's at 20 back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, he had 15 against Utah, 17 against Golden State, 22. No. I'm so excited to see him keep growing.
Continue, yeah.
Like, because he started 1 for 5 last night, and I'm like, oh man, maybe it's just one of those games, where he has to knock the rust off. And then you finish just 5 for 10. And you're like, huh?
And then in that Warriors game, he was just draining those threes in the first quarter. Yeah. So fun to watch him.
He's so pure. He has the best form I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's just unblockable. Okay. I think that might be
you
it.
have to go to the bathroom very
Okay.
badly.
I mean, I think we're probably done for now. I don't think there's anything other very pressing to talk about. Philly's going to the World Series.
Oh yeah.
I haven't paid much attention, but
yeah,
Philly's going to the World Series. That is very interesting. We'll see what the matchup is. See if Houston sweeps the Astros tonight. But we will try and do something weekly again. Just talk about the Nuggets and their week and then whatever fresh hell the Broncos put us through again.
Yep.
So yeah, thanks